This audiobook is for information purposes and for personal use only.
Gifts of Imperfection, by Brené Brown. Introduction. Wholehearted Living. Wholehearted living is about engaging in our lives from a place of worthiness. It means cultivating the courage, compassion, and connection to wake up in the morning and think, no matter what gets done and how much is left undone, I am enough. It's going to bed at night thinking, yes, I am imperfect and vulnerable and sometimes afraid, but that doesn't change the truth that I am also brave and worthy of love and belonging. The journey. Wholehearted living is not a one-time choice. It is a process. In fact, I believe it's the journey of a lifetime. My goal is to bring awareness and clarity to the constellation of choices that lead to wholeheartedness and to share what I've learned from many people who have dedicated themselves to living and loving with their whole hearts. Before embarking on any journey, including this one, it's important to talk about what we need to bring along. What does it take to live and love from a place of worthiness? How do we embrace imperfection? How do we cultivate what we need and let go of the things that are holding us back? Key answers to all of these questions are courage, compassion, and connection, the tools we need to work our way through our journey. If you're thinking, great, I just need to be a superhero to fight perfectionism, I understand. Courage, compassion, and connection seem like big, lofty ideals. But in reality, they are daily practices that, when exercised enough, become these incredible gifts in our lives. And the good news is that our vulnerabilities are what force us to call upon these amazing tools. Because we're human and so beautifully imperfect, we get to practice using our tools on a daily basis. In this way, courage, compassion, and connection become gifts, the gifts of imperfection. Here's what you'll find in the pages that follow. In the first chapter, I explain what I've learned about courage, compassion, and connection and how they are truly the tools for developing worthiness. Once we get some clarity about the tools that we're going to use on this journey, in the next chapter, we move to the heart of the matter, love, belonging, and worthiness. I answer some of the most difficult questions of my career. What is love? Can we love someone and betray them? Why does our constant need to fit in sabotage real belonging? Can we love the people in our lives, like our partners and children, more than we love ourselves? How do we define worthiness, and why do we so often end up hustling for it rather than believing in it? We encounter obstacles on every journey we make, the wholehearted journey is no exception. In the next chapter, we'll explore what I've found to be the great test barriers to living and loving with our whole hearts and how we can develop effective strategies to move through the barriers and to cultivate resilience. From there, we'll explore the 10 guideposts for the wholehearted journey. Daily practices that provide direction for our journey. There's one chapter for each guidepost, and each chapter is illustrated with stories, definitions, quotes, and ideas for making deliberate and inspired choices about the way we live and love. Defining moments. This book is full of big concept words such as love, belonging, and authenticity. I think it's critically important to define the gauzy words that are tossed around every day but rarely explained. And I think good definitions should be accessible and actionable. I've tried to define these words in a way that will help us unpack the term and explore the pieces. When we dig down past the feel-good words and excavate the daily activities and experiences that put the heart in wholehearted living, we can see how people define the concepts that drive their actions, beliefs, and emotions. For example, when the research participants talked about a concept such as love, I was careful to define it as they experienced it. Sometimes that required developing new definitions like I actually did with love and many other words. Other times, when I started looking around in the existing literature, I found definitions that captured the spirit of the participants' experiences. A good example of this is play. Play is an essential component to wholehearted living, and when I researched the topic, I discovered the amazing work of Dr. Stuart Brown. So, rather than creating a new definition, I reference his work because it accurately reflects what I learned in the research. I realize that definitions spark controversy and disagreement, but I'm okay with that. I'd rather we debate the meaning of words that are important to us than not discuss them at all. We need common language to help us create awareness and understanding, which is essential to wholehearted living. Digging deep. In early 2008, when my blog was still pretty new, I wrote a post about breaking my dig deep button. You know the dig deep button, right? It's the button that you rely on when you're too bone tired to get up one more time in the middle of the night or to do one more load of throw up diarrhea laundry or to catch one more plane or to return one more call or to please perform perfect the way you normally do even when you just want to flip someone off and hide under the covers. The dig deep button is a secret level of pushing through when we're exhausted and overwhelmed, and when there's too much to do and too little time for self-care. In my blog post, I explained how I had decided not to fix my dig deep button. I made a promise to myself that when I felt emotionally, physically, and spiritually done, I'd try slowing down rather than relying on my old standbys, pushing through, soldiering on, and sucking it up. It worked for a while, but I missed my button. I missed having something to turn to when I was depleted and down. I needed a tool to help me dig my way out. So, I turned back to my research to see if I could find a way to dig that was more consistent with wholehearted living. Maybe there was something better than just sucking it up. Here's what I found. Men and women who live wholeheartedly do indeed dig deep. They just do it in a different way. When they're exhausted and overwhelmed, they get deliberate in their thoughts and behaviors through prayer, meditation, or simply setting their intentions. Inspired to make new and different choices, they take action. Since I made that discovery, I've been digging deep the new way, and it's been pretty amazing. One example happened just recently when I was lost in an internet fog. Rather than working, I was just lulling myself into a haze by mindlessly playing on Facebook and piddling on the computer. It was neither relaxing nor productive, it was just a giant time and energy suck. I tried the new dig deep, get deliberate, inspired, and going. I told myself, if you need to refuel and losing yourself online is fun and relaxing, then do it. If not, do something deliberately relaxing. Find something inspiring to do rather than something soul-sucking. Then, last but not least, get up and do it. I closed my laptop, said a little prayer to remind myself to be self-compassionate, and watched a movie that had been sitting in a Netflix envelope on my desk for over a month. It was exactly what I needed. It wasn't the old dig deep, the pushing through. I didn't force myself to start working or to do something productive. Rather, I prayerfully, intentionally, and thoughtfully did something restorative. Each guidepose has a dig deep section to help us start thinking about how we get deliberate and inspired about our choices and how we take action. I share my personal dig deep strategies with you and I encourage you to come up with your own. These new strategies have been so much more effective than the old pushing through.